Everybody, welcome back to Under the Lamp. Got another pattern here for you guys, one that I've been using quite a bit. Again, stemmed or evolved out of the competition realm. This is, for lack of a better name, the Quill body Nymph, or Quill body blueing olive. Real basic, small, tiny, more of a match the hatch type bead head. Yeah, we'll get into it. It's been a fun one and very productive in a lot of waters that I fish. So we're gonna go ahead and use the XC 400 in an 18. So we're gonna go small on this one. It's not a big, gigantic attractor style European nymph that a lot of people are used to these days. Definitely a smaller pattern, and hopefully y'all can see this while we're tying this, because this is a little guy. And we're using tungsten slotted beads in gold, 2.3 millimeters. As far as our thread goes, we're using Vivus 14-aught in their lighter olive color. All right, so let's go ahead and get our thread started, just right up against the back of the bead, and just wrap into the body a little. Clip your tag, and as you saw in the previous shot, we're going to use some Coq de Leon, medium Pardo if you have it. And this one doesn't require a whole lot of fibers for the tail, so get about that many there. Obviously, the larger in size, you can add a fiber or two just to build the profile or the impression of the tail. And we're gonna go ahead and just lay that right on top and then secure it down with my thread. And a couple turns just to hold it down and see where your tail placement is. And again, I want the dimension or the proportion of the tail to be about equal to body length. And one nice thing about bluing olives or mayflies in general, tails are something of some significance, so you can accentuate it by having it a little longer. This one's just a touch long, so I'm going to draw that in just a bit. And I mean, just minute adjustments can go a long way. Leaving my tags, tail tags there for a moment, and we're going to go ahead and add in the body material, which is Vivus Body Quill. And this is in the BQ5. So they have two olive colors. So this is the darker olive that I'm going to use. I have used the lighter olive and it looks great, but just giving a different impression or different color phase in the body. So what I'm going to do to tie this in, go ahead and just take material and use my fingertip and just fold it right around the thread right there, loop it so I can grab both, and then I can use my thread. Once I got tension with my left hand, I can guide it onto the hook where I want it and then secure it down. Now at this point, I can just extend this out and then lay it onto my onto my little material clip on my vise, and then I can use my thumb or a fingertip and thumb just kind of help guide and wrap so nothing gets pushed or twisted around the backside. You want to keep everything on top, especially the tail, keep it in its position, and prevent the quill body from getting twisted and wrapped around as well. So let's go ahead and just trim this guy. Just get rid of the excess there. All right. Now at this point, let's go ahead and just wrap back towards the bead. We got not a whole lot of material in this fly. Very, very simple, very, very thin in profile, sparse, which when you look at blue and olive nymphs, they are. So I'm just building just a slight taper, and I mean slight. There's not much taper. And then just filling in a couple more turns back of the bead there just to help stabilize that bead a little better. All right, now with this one, I'm going to go ahead and use the rotary vise function, basically. So let me zoom out here for you so you can see a little bit better. All right, hopefully that's still in focus. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take the whip finisher and go ahead and just give it a one-turn whip finish. Don't need much more than that. And extending out my length, there's a swing my bobbin cradle around so I can lay my thread bobbin on that one. And then I'm going to take my quill body, which is also on the bobbin if you noticed earlier, and then I'm just going to go ahead and spin and rotate my vise, just moving the quill body material out of the way of the hook point so it doesn't catch and fray it, and then just allow that to wrap forward. And that's pretty much it. Real basic, real easy. And then I'm going to take my thread off the bobbin cradle, and I'm bringing my thread behind my quill body material, so again securing it down, so in back, over, and in front as far as my wraps. And now just those two turns, it's secure now. I can go ahead and just cut my quill body material away. All right, let me get you back zoomed in here. All right, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in some SLF squirrel in brown olive. Really nice, spiky, so it gives your thorax a real leggy appearance. Now, I'll show you something with this dubbing. If you notice, there is some antron or some sort of polyarn mixed in. I tend to take out some of that. That polyarn is intended to help with the dubbing aspect, as far as dubbing this material onto the thread, because squirrel fur is rigid, it's coarse, you know, it doesn't dub on all that easy, but that poly material can, in a sense, bind it down too tight. I want this squirrel hair to really kind of spread out and become really, really spiky. Not too much where it's overwhelming, so I won't do this in a dubbing loop. I just want a few of those strands to really poke out. So again, I'll prep my dubbing material into a linear mat, lay it underneath the thread, and then tight twists, just get it on there. And if you could see how much dubbing that was, it wasn't much, so it's somewhat tight. That's perfect. I could go a little looser, but we can always tease that out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my UV resin, and we're gonna create a coat on the body itself, get it even all the way around, and then I'm actually gonna hit the thread there. And we're gonna go ahead and go into our whip finish, dubbing whip finish. So with the dubbing on there and the whip finisher, I'm actually laying the dubbing right on the collar. Get one turn once I lay all the dubbing on there. One bare thread turn in front of that collar, in between the bead and the dubbing collar, and then do another set. Yeah, 3 is usually plenty enough. Get that tight, and then go ahead and just open scissor tips and push through. And that is your quill body pretty much. And get the infinity light here and set all the UV resin. All right, that should do it. So that is the quill body. Real easy one, quick, fast. You can tie a bunch of these, but a really nice buggy nymph. tie it on with your Euro rig. I usually position this on the dropper. However, if the baetis are moving around quite a bit, I might tie 2 sizes on. This 18 would be on the dropper and perhaps a 16 on the point, depending on what your weight proportions need to be as far as achieving the depth or sink rate you want and the depth. Or I just match to match if a lot of the baetis are smaller. Run 2 18s, and that way you're covering 2 portions of the water column through your drift. But also dry dropper rig, excellent nymph for that. So all right, all, hopefully this does well for you out on the water, and go give it a try. Enjoy it, have fun, get out and fish. Laters, everybody.